blaming, y'all forget that y'all were defeated by white people. There was a dude there, open eagle Mike, like Nazis and Confederates are white people that lost wars to the white people, but somehow it's still brown people's fault. He's like, yeah, because y'all are still free. If they had done their job, you would not be here.
That's a great quote.
It really is. Did you go to the Unite the Right Fest? You know I love festivals, man. Yeah. You didn't get your tickets?
No.
It was between that and Lollapalooza. It was a good lineup, man. It was like, look at this. They had Mike Enoch and Richard Spencer.
Oh, your boy.
No, my boy Richard Spencer. They had Augustus Invictus. Oh, man. They had some.
Johnny Monoxide.
Yeah, man. Playing your favorite hits. I Hate Jews and Fuck Niggas, man. I love it. And Kanye West closed out, man. It was great.
I missed it this year. I'm bummed.
Yeah, I think well, I don't know.
He'll be back.
I don't know about next year. That's the thing. And I'm careful how I make fun of this and how I mention it because this past weekend we all heard about the riots that happened in Charlottesville, Virginia. And you heard about this, Martin, right?
Yeah, you could not hear about it.
Sometimes you're so busy that I'll tell you something like, I ain't hear about that shit. What happened?
True.
It, like most things, like most news things, went, Yeah,
because Friday they had a lot of alt-right protesters go to the campus that was there.
Yeah.
What campus was that, Sam?
University of Virginia.
University of Virginia. And
with tiki torches.
With tiki torches, yeah. And they got kicked out for an unlawful gathering. But Saturday was the one where thousands of alt-right people came in, and they said that, they have their right to free speech, which they do, and which gets me to my question here. I didn't have time to pull it up for everybody, but I'm going to read this to you because this is we're going to talk about it anyway, but I had quite a few people ask me about this because I have my opinions on free speech, which this person right here messaged me. Now, this is a person named Joseph, and Joseph said to me, he says, I've always respected how you defend free speech, even with the things you strongly disagree with. For example, you talked about and caught hate yourself for defending Milo Yiannopoulos for being chased away from the campus that he was on, and also Bill Maher. And there's been some other cases where I probably have done it too, but these are the points this person has mentioned. How do you feel about free speech in this case? Do you feel the amount of violence which resulted in death was justified? Now, I don't want to make light of a situation like this before I answer your question, because there was a lot of violence that did happen. The moment that they sat down, they were already coming in with a lot of antagonistic speech. I mean, at one point they were yelling something with faggot in it.
Right.
Yeah, die faggot, or you got to go faggot or something. It was already coming in where the intention maybe was to go in and march peacefully, but they had a lot of people who came in, like the KKK and some straight up Nazis that came in and just said, hey, you know what? We ain't hiding who we are. And of course, when you come in with that kind of speech, things kind of get a little heated and then they blow up. And there was a lot of violence that was there. A lot of violence that
Did you see the picture of that guy?
This guy, yeah, with a gash.
Is it the same guy?
I don't know.
I had heard that it was.
There was but there were a lot of people who were getting hurt. A lot of people.
Absolutely. But I had heard the correlation of specifically that first picture and the second.
Right. I see both those pictures next to each other, but the guy in the first one is wearing a dark jacket.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder. I just question if it's the same guy.
I don't know, because one guy, and I guess it's this guy right here, and what we're looking at is a black male with cornrows and his white T-shirt bleeding profusely from a gash in his head where I think he was cornered by some protesters and was beaten down. They said that happened to a couple other people. And, that was... And to be fair, I know that there were some alt-right protesters who were out there which were cornered by some other people, and they, got a beat down. I don't know if any of them got beat down like this, but, there's violence on both sides. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm condoning anything that was said or done. Like I said, I'll tell you about that in a little while. But what happened was it culminated in a death. There was somebody who, in a car, I don't know why this is so popular these days, just getting in a car and just ramming yourself into a crowd of people. I guess because it's easy.
It's a giant bullet. It's just a thing going fast and hard that you'll most likely be less hurt than others who come in contact with it.
And this dude, I'll show you the person a little bit, but somebody drove into a crowd of people, injured about 14 people or so, 17 people maybe, and then end up killing someone. And the person that was killed, and again, like, so I'm trying to go around this carefully because, you know me, I handle these kind of things with somewhat of a sense of humor. But this is sad. One of the anti-protesters, a girl named Heather Heyer. She was the one that was killed. Now I tell you, 3 people were killed, but a helicopter killed 2 policemen.
Yeah, it crashed. Which I don't understand how it crashed. I haven't read anything as to why.
Yeah, unless somebody's out there with grenade launcher or something, I don't know. But you got to be careful how you read the headlines. They try to make it seem like 3 people died out of all this violence, like no, helicopter crash, which makes it no less tragic.
Yeah.
But as a result of the violence that we saw, this young woman died, and it was very sad, very sad. And the thing that eventually had to happen, martial law had to come in and take place, and then officials, government officials.
State of emergency.
State of emergency.
Martial law.
Actually, you know what? It's funny because I mentioned martial law, but they said the police held back for a long time, which some people are wondering, because in Ferguson or some other places they were quick to bomb people and tear gas people and use those bean bags and SWAT. Yeah, they were quick. And meanwhile, they were just laying back and just like, oh, it'll work itself.
There is a picture of there are people fighting and a cop like leaning against a fence or something, like chilling.
I mean, leaning. Just
literally
cooling.
Yeah, but they'll spray a peaceful protester in the face
in a minute.
In a second.
Yeah.
I mean, this cop might as well have his iPhone and it's plugged in his ears and just chilling. Just looking at people. But I do like the way that certain people came out, including the governor. They had the Governor Terry McAuliffe came out, and he addressed this. And it's funny because he addressed this in the best way that he knew how to give his like cold opinion on it. No, I don't like these white supremacists out here. He didn't try to use alt-right. He didn't try to use conservatives or anything like that. He said they are white supremacists and we don't want them. It was funny though because he said a couple of things. So you got this brother behind him right here, and that brother the whole time was like, yep. But there was one point where that guy was like, wait a minute.
You want to talk about patriots? Talk about Thomas Jefferson and George Washington.
They had stopped. He was like, hold on, wait. He was like, yeah, wait a minute. They had slaves.
Thomas Jefferson is the founder of the University of Virginia, where this white supremacist thing was taking place.
Really? Yeah. I like the way my man was a bobblehead the whole time.
Yeah.
That shit ran out of bobble real quick. Wait a minute, hold on.
Who are wearing the cloth of our country.
Yeah, I'm gonna whoop your ass at this time.
Where you going with this?
How do I ease on out of here? Where's the exit at? But I admire the governor for saying, he even said, look, you guys, you have what you consider free speech, so let me have mine and say exactly how I feel about you. He's like, we don't want you here. We don't like you. And that was great for him to say that.
Because the president will not.
Well, here's the thing, man. I said, because he proved me wrong for a little while. Trump came out and said, yeah, he ain't going to tweet nothing about, oh, shit. Uh-oh. And I looked down and Trump had actually put something out there. We all must be united and condemn all that hate stands for. There is no place for this kind of violence in America. Let's come together as one. Even had his girl, Malenka, whatever. Our country encourages freedom of speech, but let's communicate without hate in our hearts. No good comes from violence. I said, look at my Trump growing up a little bit. Oh, you knew that well, long.
No.
He had to fuck it up.
Well, so did she.
And so what did she do? Well, let me show.
Yeah, that Michelle Obama said that first.
Oh,
it's a direct copied quote. If she was in college and wrote that on her term paper, she would have failed that class.
She has the hard drive of all of Michelle's old computer, and it's just like, what to pick today?
If Michelle Obama had a dick, she would be riding that into the sunset. She plagiarized her before.
I know. I
had no idea.
You really didn't know? I saw her right before I came over here and had to laugh.
Is she just at Michelle Obama's side to look at everything she does? What are you doing? Nothing. God damn.
Wait, what'd you get for number 6?
Oh, Jesus. Goddamn Christ. I swear to God. If Michelle Obama was there to take an STD test, this woman would be there to copy off of her. This is crazy. And of course they had to go and mess it up. I mean, I thought, like, you know what? It was too good to be true. It didn't even last that long. My man, now this is what he's getting in trouble for right now. Not getting in trouble, but this is what he's catching heat for right now. Trump, this is something that proves to us exactly what he was doing his whole campaign. Boy, he can't mess with his boys when it comes down. He can talk about everybody else, but he can't mess with his boys when it comes down to them.
This egregious display of hatred, bigotry, and violence on many sides. On many sides.
Come on, man. Come on, brother. Come on. You know, it was too good to be true. You can sit up there and talk about Mexicans being racist and murderers. You can talk about every brown person out there being a terrorist and send out false information on crime statistics for black people, but you can't call a white supremacist for what the fuck they are.
Right there when they're doing it on video from several different angles.
On several you know, I'm sorry that some of them are good people don't work with white supremacists. You know, it's funny because that just shows us his boys out there. That's further proof that was his base that put him where he is. He does not want to do anything to offend them.
Well, they were very open about how they were doing it in his name.
David Dukes, former KKK leader, came out and said, "We're out here in the name of Trump, 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 Trump." I mean, did he try to disavow himself from that?
Nope.
Distance himself from that? No, he's not trying hard at all. He knows where his base is and he doesn't care. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to say it. A lot of people say, man, I'm tired of people calling Trump a racist. Maybe he's not.
I'm tired of him being a racist.
I'm tired of him defending. And that's what I said. Maybe on the outside, he doesn't consider himself a racist because he gets along with other people. But just by proxy, by association, just by defense, or just by omission, he's kind of racist. Nobody's telling white people not to be proud. You know, everybody should be proud of who they are. In fact, black people have been telling you for the longest time, hey, man, we even take advantage of it. Use your white privilege.
There was a guy who went by Ted, and he didn't want to give his full name because he might run for governor one day, as the excuse he gave the reporter. But he said he was tired of whites getting the short end of the stick. Or like tired, like something to that, like he was on the alt-right protest. And literally, I was just like, the ignorance on this level, though, it shouldn't surprise me, but it still does. I still can't believe it.
Ain't nobody taking shit from you. You have everything. I'm just trying to get some crumbs. Shit, I'm not even like going in and snatching your plate. I'm at the bottom begging like a fucking dog. I'm just waiting for a scrap or two and hoping to work my way up. That's the problem that we have here. And let me just see if I can find a picture here, because one of the things that we have going on is that nobody's telling you not to be proud. Pride is when you like say, hey, you know what? I can appreciate myself without fucking with anybody else. You know, that's pride. You know, maybe I might be a little bit of a braggart, but I'm not doing anything to take basic rights away from you or keeping you from achieving those. I mean, I don't understand how hard that is. But these people that call themselves the alt-right, you need to just be a racist. That's all I'm asking you to do. When you out there marching 1,000 strong, and you out there marching with tiki torches, let me tell you what's so significant about the statue. Over a statue. And I'm going to tell y'all about that. It's over a statue. The General Robert E. Lee. Yeah. Now, what's so significant about these tiki torches is that y'all ain't fooling nobody with this shit. You know, I don't know. Maybe you thought because you went to Home Depot and bought some shit for a luau that it wouldn't be as threatening, but people know what you fucking doing. These tiki torches that you got, that's a symbol that's a threatening symbol that the KKK used to use and other people used to use when they would go out and try to frighten and intimidate other groups. It's
a symbol of a mob.
It's a symbol of a mob. They would go in the cover of night and you saw those. At the time, it was a symbol of intimidation. Back in the day, when the KKK was marching down the road with those torches, that meant somebody was about to be lynched, or somebody was about to get chased off,
or have their house burned down,
And there was a cross going up. You're not fucking fooling anybody with those fucking torches, man, at all. And the only thing I'm sorry about, the one who loses the most are the torches, because the torches didn't do nothing to nobody.
I wasn't
meant for this.
Yeah.
Where are the coconuts?
If you bring those in his house, you're just gonna have to get bit by mosquitoes.
Now, some good white person's going to try to buy torches at a Home Depot, and somebody going to be looking at them. Oh, is there a lynching going on? God damn, man, shit. Fine.
Ruined tiki torches for everyone.
Yeah. I'll use logs. Where are the logs? By the ropes.
Just stand there and take photos of everybody who buys tiki torches. I'm posting it on Facebook, I hope you know.
And they're doing this all over, as Juliana was saying, the Robert E. Lee statue that they want to remove.
Confederate general statue,
Yeah. And what they're doing is, everybody knows this, they're removing all kind of symbols of the Confederacy, because I don't care how you try to say it, it's a symbol of slavery. Now, I will say this. There's this thing going on, and this is where I come in with the free speech part. And I'm going to talk about this General Lee thing in a minute, because it relates to something else. There's something that's going on now where they're getting all these people who were a part of this protest that turned into a mob eventually. And they're getting these people on online, and they're exposing them, and they're getting them fired from jobs, or at least letting people know who they are. And you can see right here, this is from Rever Press, that some people are actually losing their jobs here. There's a guy here named Cole White, worked for a place called Top Dog, LLC. Top Dog said, yeah, thanks for bringing us to this attention of this guy that works for us. And, this motherfucker doesn't have a job anymore when he comes back. Enjoy your time in Charlottesville. Hope you have a nice vacation. Have fun at Racist Fest. Hope you got a shirt. I appreciate the people that are coming forward and saying, you know what? Yeah, you putting me out there. I'm not going to whine. I'm not going to complain. I was there, and I was there with pride. They got a dude out there. This man is remembered the most out of anybody. Peter Chetanovic, I think that's how you say his name. He's like a dude at the concert that took Molly, except he took the hate Molly. You know, the kind of, the kind of make you love people, to make you just hate people more. Yeah, fuck them all. This guy, he's going to be remembered as having, you remember back in the 60s and the 40s and 50s when they had these mobs, you had that one person out there like, he's got that face. But my man, when they called him out on it, he said, you know what? Yeah, I was out there, but let me explain to you why I feel the way I do.
You may have seen this photo on social.
And Robert E. Lee is a great example of it. He wasn't a perfect man by any sense of the word, but I want to honor and respect that what he stood for during his time.
Bitch, he stood for slavery. How hard is it? I love the way he just danced around that shit.
He's not a perfect man.
He's not a perfect man. What he stood for was actually just believing in history. I mean, shut the fuck up. That man even got Hitler hair right there. I love the way he take his screaming ass, put it next to this cute iPhone.
I love that. We have him on the phone, and we're going to put up a picture of a phone so you don't forget that he's on the phone.
I love the way, like,
he's not in the TV. This was on the phone.
You're like, do you hear me now?
He's yelling into that phone.
Hello. Damn, I hate Sprint. Hello. I hate this gay technology. Sprint, hello. But yeah, man, look at the way they're dancing around. Be a racist. Say, yes, I love slavery and I wish I were back in chains. Because that's what it comes down to. All this shit with the alt-right and what they're doing, they're trying to lay it on everybody except for what they are. Even one poor, thank you for giving me that clip, Sammy, and thank you for this tweet right here. They blaming, y'all forget that y'all were defeated by white people. There was a dude at Open Eagle Mike, like Nazis and Confederates are white people that lost wars to other white people, but somehow it's still brown people's fault. He's like, yeah, because y'all are still free. If they had done their job, you would not be here.
That's a great quote.
It really is. But when you go out there and you start preaching this violent, hateful bullshit, this rhetoric that you have, don't expect people to sit back anymore and just take it. A lot of that speech is a veiled threat. And you're just trying to ease your way in with, this is just another level of conservatism. That's all. We're just having pride in ourselves. I don't hate other races. I just feel like everybody just needs their space. No, because only a matter of time before your space is not enough, and then you try to take my space, your space, everybody else's space. Let's not forget how everybody says separate but equal, and it wasn't equal. Right. That's how they say separate but unequal, and y'all are animals. And there's no way human beings need to like lay with you. But how did you and I get this skin color? Because fucking white men raped their livestock, black women. You know, and it happens with everything. You know, it's never separate. Everybody's going to always want something somebody else has. Sure. The biggest example of that, Richard Spencer, which I felt bad about him getting punched in the face at first. I said, you know, the guy was just talking. Nobody should have came in and hit him like that.
The hipster version of the neo-Nazi movement? It's Pepe's become kind of a symbol.
Captain America.
At first, look, I'm all about free speech, and at first I thought that's not cool. He was just sitting there talking, but then he's in the middle with these tiki torches and everything. All this stuff that's happening to these people, stop expecting like there are no consequences for it, because you're trying to be sneaky about it. All this shit, you want to put yourself out there? Yeah, free speech. Go out there and have it. Talk all you want to, but I've always said free speech. Don't expect to say anything and not expect something to happen to you. Sure.
Yeah, that's literally my biggest pet peeve when people throw around the whole like free speech thing. And yeah, there's no freedom of consequence.
And don't pull this shit of I have it bad. First of all, you got all the resources, you got all the money, you got all the legacies, and you got all
doing well, man. That's your fault.
Yeah, and nobody's going around. I don't care how much you think it is. Nobody's trying to put anybody on kind of any white guilt problem. There's not nobody's rampantly going around looking, black people aren't going around to white people talking about, you should be ashamed of yourself. Nobody's going around doing that. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure maybe one or two, but
I do it sometimes.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Shame on you. Martin just gets a bell and just follows. He just follows white people around with a bell, just like a nun. Shame. Shame.
Cuts my hair off while he's at it.
You're the problem. But no, I cannot work for you, Juliana, and then go out in public and be like, oh, you fucking bitches, especially my boss, and then get back to work and expect to still have a job.
Yeah.
I can't. You can't do that.
What, you gonna find me over that?
Yeah. And it's also just like the whole concept of defending white culture or white history is ridiculous, because literally, historically, white history is imperialistic slave trade of indigenous and people of color. Like, it's like the history you're defending is what you're claiming you're not. And it's like the history of white people is going to other places and enslaving those people. That is what we do. That is our contribution.
But there's a lot of great contributions, and nobody's saying, I don't want to sit up here and say like white people just enslaved and did bad things.
The majority of them did, though. When
she said it, I didn't.
No, I'm being real. Just like historically, no. When we were expanding and exploring the world, when Magellan and all those fuckers went out to look for gold and spices, they were doing so with the intent of hopefully gaining slaves to send back home and to help them establish their new colonies and it was disposable.
Steal the resources.
Yeah, and their resources. Like, it's all fake. Not all white people are terrible, but our history is historically enslaving people. It's racist.
Every race has its bad people, but like she said, white history has a history of colonialism and enslaving people, and taking over, conquering, and that's history. Globally, and that's happened. All right, nobody's gonna say anything. Hey, I'm here. I got computers and shit. Good job, white people.
And you're welcome.
I'm happy. I'm thankful.
I deserve a history.
But nobody.
We're willing to let it go if you guys will let it go.
Yeah, but it's time for us to get along with each other. Everybody's we know now a lot of things that we believed back then aren't justifiably true. And nobody's saying erase that history. Keep that history, but we don't need a fucking statue for it. That'd be like putting up a statue of Hitler. But y'all would like that. So never mind. What am I saying? But this deal of y'all hiding behind different labels and names, stop doing it, because First of all, we all know the bullshit for what it is, and your nature is going to take over no matter what. Richard Spencer, the reason why I showed him, because he sat down with Charles Barkley and somebody else. It was really weird. It was and he comes in, racial and terrible, but he sat down with Richard Spencer and they had a talk. And Richard Spencer comes in, and he's always doing this thing of, oh, it's nice to meet you. I love your work, you know. And he comes in and he's very humble, and he tries to act like, I don't mind other people, but as you slowly chip away at him, you really get to the person that he is on the inside.
You don't want me in your neighborhood.
Like, are you planning on moving there?
Like, wow, you gotta think about it.
You have money. I don't mind you.
Even with money, I doubt he would like that.
No.
By being a conservative that says, oh, I'm colorblind, we're all the same, God created us equal. That's bullshit. There's no equality in nature. There's difference.
That's fucking scary, man.
Yeah, I know.
He already just said, once you, and what I respect about him is that once he put against the wall, he straight out said no. But when he says, I don't believe in equality, no matter how he tries to justify, how he thinks other people are okay as long as they're with their own. When he said, I don't believe in equality, he's already said, I believe in power, which means if I got to take from you, and chances are I will if I have the chance, then no, I don't want you to have things. I don't want you to have as much as I do. In fact, and I can tell you right now, if Richard Spencer was sitting in front of me right now, I'd be like, hey, man, cut the bullshit. You're okay with me as long as I'm somebody that's serving you, as long as I'm somebody that doesn't have the same things that you do, as long as you can have access to whatever I have and I can't have it from you. I mean, come on, man. You can smile all you want to.
I do believe that.
No. I mean, but exactly. And he probably said, but he just said it himself right there. He exposed himself for what he is. Come on, people. Let's stop with the label. I'm just racist. Be racist. You fooling nobody but yourselves. And stop this shit of I'm a different kind of conservative, or I'm just a person that really believes separate but equal, because a lot of these people came out, even they said, look, fuck all this alt-right shit, I'm a Nazi. Okay? And Nazis don't hand out flowers and peace signs and say, I'm okay, you're okay.
Right.
They don't do that. Nazis say, I'm taking your shit and I'm killing you so you will never have it again. And these people out there, like with the swastikas, the eagles, and the Hitler and Nazi paraphernalia in quotes, they are saying clearly, if we have a chance to take over, we will destroy you. Fuck you for that. But the biggest thing that people need to take away from this is that the reason why this violence is justified is because America has taught us over and over again, violence is the way if you're met with violence. What's that? That's a foreign policy that we have. Thank you. 4th of July is based on that. NRA always telling us, arm yourself and stand your ground. People get away with saying things like that. Why is it always a double standard when it comes down to like having these clear terrorists who are white supremacists? Why all of a sudden it's like, well, let's hold back and think about this.
Sure.
It's bullshit,
That in itself shows that, like, whatever history you think is being lost or forgotten is clearly not. Clearly not.
But whatever they're thinking, nobody is sitting back, because we don't have to. Nobody's taking that shit from them anymore. Nobody's gonna sit up here and this ain't Martin Luther King. Ain't nobody taking an ass whooping. I've always said this, and I'll say it today. Martin Luther King was at a different time. He had his strategy and it worked then, and it was what he should have done. That shit bending over and taking an ass whooping and being like, hey, you know what, turn the other cheek. No. People will fight you. White and black and everything in between. Fuck you. Don't pull that shit around here. My father took a bullet for this country. Several bullets, actually, in several wars. I didn't do shit, so hey man, I mowed the grass in the National Guard.
You peel potatoes.
Yeah, I did peel potatoes. I fed some people, but hey, I have a right to be here as much as anybody else, and nobody's been over taking an ass whooping and sitting up here doing this subservient black people shit. Oh well, our place in heaven will soon come. Bullshit. If I got to take you to heaven, I'll do it.
You spent.
I am tired, man. I beat my own ass. Yeah. Another thing. Shit. Motherfucker.
Trump.
Yeah.
Wish somebody would come up.
But yeah, I just think that, like, the fact that he had harsher words to say about Kristen Stewart cheating on Robert Pattinson than he did about this terrorist attack, like, is problematic in a lot of ways. Is alarming in new ways. He had like 3 tweets about her being like, she is a scum on the earth. He deserved better. And for this, he was like, we should all just come together as one.
Oh, he's such a fucking scoundrel. I never use that word unless I have to. Oh, I hate using that word. You see what he You see what he did? You see what you made me do?
Bad apple.
I had to use the S word.